Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm Bot. This is Finn. Get ready, get comfortable, get a snack. And I don't know how to pivot this intro for more than two people. We present to you our last brain cells left. How you been, Finn?
We have a guest. I've been good. We have a guest today.
I don't know how to pivot this for three people.
How have you been, LaterManner, Mr. Manner?
It is I, LaterManner, Mr. Manner. That's so hype. I'm the first guest. I didn't
You
even
are.
realize
Yeah,
that.
you are.
That's so hype. Oh my god.
Yep.
Yay! Woo! Yeah, I'm LaterManner. I also go by WaiterManner on TikTok. That's for like serving stuff, and LaterManner is my channel on Twitch and YouTube for video streaming and just doing video game stuff in general.
Hell
He's
yeah.
good at this. We're not. Anyways.
Yeah, that was a great, seamless, promotion. That was good. It was efficient.
I was up all night thinking about, man, how do I introduce myself? I was like,
how
oh
do
my
I seem
god,
cool in front of all these nerds?
how do I do this? Okay, good, thank God the hundreds of me staring in a mirror like practicing my intro worked out. Had to make sure.
That's such a real feeling, though. Like just like
Yeah.
when you're
It
just
really
sitting
is.
there with just you, it's like, oh fuck, I am my own audience here. This is like, it's a new level of pressure and doubt that I
Yeah.
didn't know I had within.
Dude, public speaking's hard, man. Like,
True.
it's so true. Like,
Thank you.
oh my god,
True
thinking
words.
back to like when I was in public school and everything. It's like, God, it just makes me nervous thinking about like needing to prep for a difference. I don't know why I thought about this just now, but like, I don't know. Like,
There's a weird adjacency
it's
here.
really nerve-wracking.
And then cut to us streaming, which is public speaking, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
that's
true.
But it's different, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you're streaming, like you're talking about stuff that you love to do, right? Like
The passion
you're-
helps.
Like if like if it's a video game that you love to play, then you're talking about that, and you can kind of just like flow into it. But like when you're doing like a school project or something, or you're doing like a work meeting, it's like you got to come up with all this bull crap that you got to say, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
You gotta be professional about it.
exactly, that crap is so cringe. Like,
It's
I don't want
so
to be
gross.
professional. I just want to like
Agreed.
yell about like penises or something. I don't freaking know.
Okay.
That's true. I think what's also
Just
interesting
want
is
to
like,
yell about cocks. Like,
Right? Like, come on now.
I mean, I did do that at one
shit
work
there.
meeting, but like, I don't have a job anymore. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
I
they,
wouldn't
oh,
recommend
they
it.
fired me. I don't know why they fired me. I thought I was gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I thought it was
Yeah,
very
you can-
funny.
you can talk
Yeah.
about penises at a meeting, but you can only really do it once, you know?
That makes sense. You get the one strike.
I was just trying to find a good metaphor for like the rapid growth of our company. I just nothing else, nothing better really hit me.
It's
You
like a
know?
boner. It's like
Yeah.
You know when you take Viagra? No one
Like,
else?
the blood just
okay.
like rushed to our profits this year.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Dolphin,
just
please tell us how Viagra works.
See when you yeah, exactly. Please, I need to know actually.
Well, actually, you know what? Fun fact, and this is something I've looked up before. Viagra
Because of
can
course.
work on women.
For real? How?
Yeah. Instead of it making your dick hard, apparently it can make your clitoris, very
Clitoris.
sensitive.
Taurus.
But there is like things that's like, okay, it works with
I
some
guess that
people,
makes
but it doesn't
sense.
with others. Well, like works with some women, doesn't with other women.
Hmm.
I've never tried it. I have no interest in trying it.
Same.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of an interest in trying it just to see.
I've never tried Viagra. I'm good. I don't think
I
want
don't
to.
wanna have to deal with the whole like
if I need to try
if it
Viagra,
lasts
I've
longer
heard-
than
That's
4
amazing.
hours, how the hell am I
Exactly.
gonna explain this to the
I've-
ER nurse?
I've heard horror stories of Viagra. And it's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, no,
it's
I'm
like
good.
I don't want to have to deal with that. That just sounds so freaking annoying.
my
Yeah.
because my parents are older, I grew up around people who were like in their 60s and 70s and whatnot. So hearing just stories adjacent to that, I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah, and honestly, like boners could be like really freaking like annoying.
God,
Like,
I know,
oh my
right?
God, true.
In a public. Okay.
Speaking
let me
of
tell you,
public
all right? Listen. All
A little
right.
bit quiet for this
Men
one.
I know
men in
exactly
this
where this is
world,
going.
they have it so easy. But the one thing that is really annoying about being a man, in my opinion, is random ass boners.
Oh
in public.
my God, yes.
Oh my
You know-
god, random
Yes.
ass boners in public because it makes you look so awkward. Like you have to
Yes.
like try to hide it. You have to try to like
Right.
hide it so you don't people don't see like the freaking bulge in your pants.
Yeah,
and,
and,
it's
you
like,
can't
oh
really
my God.
reposition it without
Yeah.
touching your
And
crotch
here's the
and
thing,
looking
right? Yes.
very weird.
Here's the thing, right? Like everybody thinks that like oh, if you have a boner, you must be like I don't know, like attracted to somebody that like you could be looking at, or like you're just thinking inappropriate thoughts. No, bruh.
No.
It just
It
happens
just
out of
happens.
nowhere.
Yeah, no.
Out of nowhere. You're not thinking nothing. It's like I'm in like, I don't know. I'm in like a class.
Thinking
or
about
meeting.
Roman
Yeah,
Empire.
I'm not excited.
I'm thinking about nothing. I'm not excited at all. I'm so bored. And then all
I'm
of a
not
sudden,
this interested into physics. I promise. Like
Exactly.
Yeah,
or
right.
math or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like
oh
the
my God.
wind can change 2 degrees east, and all of a sudden, like, brrrng, like what the fuck?
Bro,
Like, how did we
literally.
get here?
Literally.
I'm so
oh my
glad you
God,
feel
it's
my
so
pain.
aggravating. Oh yeah, it's a true pain. It's true.
This
pain,
is this
you
is
know?
a
I
universal experience.
yeah. of
Well, I
course.
must admit, obviously, I don't have a penis, as you may well know.
Obviously. How
as
would
some of
everybody
you-
know?
How do you know?
you're
When was the
right,
last time you
actually.
checked?
Yeah. When was the
You know
last time
what,
you checked?
let me whip out my schlong right now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I did the same thing. I did the same thing.
Did we all just punch
no,
our
but
desk
like
right now?
yeah.
We all had to
like-
whip out our schlongs.
Yeah, I know. We just had to have a little measuring contest for a second.
Yeah.
So I like, obviously I don't have one, but like 90% of my friend base are guys. So like I know about this. Connor and me have had this. By the way, Connor is also LaterManner. If I accidentally say his actual name,
Yeah, that's cool.
we've had this conversation before about the random boners.
Yeah.
Where you went on the exact same rant where you were just like, it sucks, and I'm like, I can imagine it sucks
does.
because like when women get turned on, it's nothing happens, you know?
Exactly,
like
yeah.
we don't
You
pop
just
a
hide it.
boner.
Yeah, you don't get like a neon sign that blares it to everyone in a
It
5-mile
basically
radius.
is. It
And then
basically
just
is.
look weird.
Oh my God. You know what else? Oh my God. One of the most embarrassing moments. So, I remember this is like in high school, and like we were on like some sort of like field trip, and it was like a pool field trip, right? Like,
Oh, no.
You'd go swimming. Yeah, and it was like
I know where this is going.
yeah, it can get like pretty annoying if you you know, if it happens. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Bathing
and, like,
suits are
all
not
your-
conducive for stealth mode.
No, not at all. You cannot stealth. Like if you're like in like school or whatever, and like you could like put a jacket over it or something
Yeah,
like
like
that. but,
sweatshirt.
Yeah.
yeah, but like if you don't even got a shirt on, it's like over.
Well, especially those guys
Yeah.
that wear the tiny little Speedo shorts.
Oh no, yeah.
Like I
no.
know, like in professional swimming, whatever makes you aerodynamic or
yeah.
whatever.
Can't
but like
confirm.
if you wear those tiny Speedo shorts, I cannot imagine if you accidentally
dude.
pop one.
I
and
used
it's
to
like,
fuck
oh,
that.
I don't know if you guys. I used to do competitive swimming for like
Bro, me
almost
too.
my
I was about
entire
to say
life.
that.
Oh shit, really? Hell yeah.
Well, okay, no, hold on. I cannot compare to you. Not my entire life. I did it like for like school. Like I was in swim team, but
Fair.
like not
I did
like super competitive.
I did like recs basically from when I was 7 until I graduated high school. I did swim. I made varsity all 4 years in high school. It was the whole thing.
Damn.
I would like I was good because there was like 9 people in my entire like high school team, but I did like a club team. That's actually why I blew out my calf. That's why I have a bad calf to this day. Fun fact.
Damn.
oh.
Yeah.
That's right. Swimming can be tough. What events did you swim?
Breaststroke and then anything. Well, breaststroke was my best, but then anything that my
Oh,
coach
I
needed
love
me to do
stroking
because there were
breasts.
9 guys. I know, right?
Don't, oh my God, I was not like. If you were gonna say like, "Oh, I'm the best at butterfly," I'd be like, "Bro, no."
I fucking suck at that.
Butterfly is
it's
so hard. Bro.
It's so brutal.
Dolphin, I don't know if you know. Butterfly is a stroke in swimming where you literally have to jump out of the water.
Yeah, I
and,
think
like,
I know
your
what
arms
you're
around.
talking
yeah,
about.
it's ridiculous. If my camera was
It
on
looks
it, I
really
was
hard.
literally doing the thing. But like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's so bad. No, I did backstroke and
Oh, yeah. Good
freestyle 32. What's the longest? I forget how many laps it is, but I did the longest one.
Oh, like the 400,
Is that
like
how
the
many
big
laps
distance
is that?
ones. I forget.
Yeah, like the
and
long
I only
distance ones.
I only did the
think it was, like-
400 in high school, and then I always would have a counter. So I would just blindly go until I saw the color orange, and then I'd be like, okay, now I can stop this suffering.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. No, it sucks when you're doing it. It's like 12 laps, something like that.
Something like that.
Like, of the pool.
Apparently,
Like,
my
straight.
dad used to do that. Like, I didn't know this for a long time, but my dad was really into it, and he was really good at it to the point where like the 400 was like his event. And he said he used to intentionally piss people off, where he would find the fastest guy in the race that wasn't him, and he would just be like on their ankles for the entire time.
What
Then
the
on the last
fuck?
4,
That's so funny.
on the last
My
4,
man's
he would
mind
eke
gaming.
ahead so that they were tied. And then on the last 3, he would go a little bit further. And then on the last 2, he said he would just go as fast as he could and just blow them out of
Oh,
the
yeah.
water.
Okay, so I know I said I did swim, but I did the exact same thing in cross country and track. Those
hell
are the
yeah.
sports that I
There are
actually did
overlaps there.
competitively.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, there definitely are. I was definitely way more competitive in like track
Yeah.
because I was the captain of those teams.
Hell yeah.
And oh my god, like when I think back to like honestly, it's a little like thinking back to it, it's scary, you know, like because you're at least for me, like I was looked at as like the guy like, hey, you need to really perform for our school or whatever. Because I mean, you know, I was the best one, you know, don't mean to brag, but it was really tough because like I was like there's a ton of pressure there. And oh my god, like when I went to I ended up being the only one that qualified for state in track.
Oh damn.
So I was on this bus. I got pulled out of school early. I was on this bus by myself with the principal and the bus driver. And we went to like this big college to, you know, to perform for high school. And yeah, I needed to rep my school because nobody else
Was there.
Yeah, nobody else performed well enough to actually get in.
Right.
For state. And I remember like being there like, what the hell? Like there's all these freaking full ass teams and I'm just by myself here for my high school. And then when I finally performed, I did the exact same thing that your dad said, right?
Were you just like keeping up with people?
Yeah. And I tried and I pushed at the very end. Unfortunately, I only made third, but
It's not bad though.
You know. Yeah,
third
it's
isn't
fine.
bad.
Yeah, third in state, yeah. Which was
But isn't that also like a strategy in track and field to like
for sure.
hold back until the very end and then you push it?
Yeah, it depends though. Like I did a lot of long distance, so in track it's called a 3200. Is what I did, and that is 2 miles.
Oh, damn.
2 miles, and then I also did the 800, which is like a half mile.
Yeah.
But 800 is like you basically sprint the whole thing.
Right.
But I think back to doing that, I'm like, man, because I could have done it for my senior year, but I said, you know what? Honestly, I think I'd rather just work.
Yeah.
Fair.
And that because you know I wanted to save up money for like my future and everything, and that kind of leads me into to what we were originally going to talk about
Retail horror
which is
stories.
Retail horror stories. Yes, sir.
This was
y'all like that? Y'all like that segue? Y'all like that segue? That's pretty good.
Really,
Yeah, it was a
this
good
man's a
segue.
professional.
This
amateurs.
was told to us or given to us by Spider602, who's our moderator on Discord.
Shut up, my boys.
Spider.
He said retail horror stories witnessed on or off the clock. Does anybody want to start us off or?
Well, it's interesting because we all have different perspectives of this,
Yeah.
right? Where you directly work in retail, I've worked more in like IT and the kind of like help repair desk side of things, and then you're more on the like waiter side of everything, man. Like you said at the top of this, right?
Yeah.
So it's all.
I'm
different.
like all in. I would say like basically like a restaurant server is like you're required for like guest satisfaction. That's how you get paid. Like I don't even get paid hourly. It's all
Damn.
on like tips.
That's wild.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I actually that's one of the biggest talking points on my WaiterManner TikTok. A shameless plug. But
Links will be in the description.
but what is it? Yeah, no, a lot of people don't know that, and that's one of the big things that I try to like educate about because you know, a lot of people will like go and they'll see like the tip screen and they're like, oh, why would I tip you? You're already getting paid, so I'm trying to give you bonus on top of that, like hello.
Right.
But no, it's just it's a service fee, you know. It's just that's how it is. Many states don't like they also pay hourly wage. But where I live, they don't. It's just, and that's just standard, you know. It's not really a thing that I complain about. A lot of people complain about it. They're like, oh, if I just made hourly, or oh, if I just had automatic gratuity on every table, then it'd be fine. Yeah, but you know, I try not to think that way. I think there's many benefits about it, which I might get into later. But for horror stories specifically, I do remember there was this one guy. This is probably the first like horror story-esque thing that I can think of from way back.
Earliest experience.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like
This is the origin of PTSD.
I should probably mention I have worked in retail for like well, not retail. I've worked in the restaurant industry for 7 years, so
Damn.
it's a long ass time. It actually is crazy. I was a busser in 2018, and then in 2019 I became a restaurant server, and I'm still at the same restaurant that I worked at that I started working at way back when. But I've tried different restaurants. I've tried different restaurants in between, but that first one that I applied to, I just keep coming back to.
Never forget your first love.
Of course, that's how it be. But anyway, so I was very new at this point, right? This was probably like 3 months into me being a server there, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm getting like, I'm getting this table there check. It's a cash check, right? I want to say it was like $60. It doesn't really matter, right? So I give them their change. I say, here you go, sir. And then I'm walking away. I'm expecting them to just leave, right? They already got their change, and yeah, it's fine. It's the end of the serving experience for them. Mm-hmm. So then I'm walking around, I'm just helping out. I'm doing stuff for other tables, and then one of the other servers goes up to me. She says, "Oh, hey Connor, can you get me some change for this 20? I just really need for my table." And I was like, "Yeah, I got you." So then I go over to the bar to get some change, right? And then, as I'm walking there, like a dumbass, by the way, I'm holding out the $20 bill that the server gave me, like basically like a baby with some candy or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy's like talking to my manager, so I walk up and I was like, "Hey, there seemed to be a problem." This is the old guy at my table who I thought would have been gone by now. He's talking to my manager, and then out of nowhere, when I go up and be like, "Hey, there seem to be a problem?" the man goes, "Give me that!" And then he swipes the $20 bill out of my hand.
What?
And then, I swear to God, he jets out of the restaurant like he's the freaking Flash. Like, I've never seen an old man run this fast in my entire life. He was like 70 years old or some bullcrap. And he ran out of there, like jetted. And I was like, what? What just happened? And then I was like, me and the manager, we were just like in awe. We were like, what?
Well, yeah, you got struck by Eobard Thawne.
We were
That's
like,
crazy.
what just happened? So then the manager, he tells me what just happened. Apparently the manager was complaining, saying that I shorted him the money for his change. And I said, I don't think I did. But I mean, to this day, I don't even know if I did or not. To be honest, I don't think I did. Like, right. I recounted it, and it looked like I did it right. So maybe the guy's just freaking senile. I don't know. It seems like he's crazy.
Maybe he's just bad at math.
Give me that. That is
maybe.
So funny.
I don't know. But anyway, so the crazy thing about this, though, is that the manager was like, "Oh, well, I guess that was his money, right?" And I was like, "No, that was not his money. That was another server's money. It was a $20 bill from another server. So this wasn't even my money, right? This guy just freaking swiped it from me." And I was like, "Yeah, I need that $20 bill. That's for this other server. I was just trying to get change for them." He was like, "Oh, shoot. Okay." So then the restaurant just took it out of their own funds and got it to the server. So it all worked out, but like, it was insane.
Yeah. I don't know how I would react.
None of us knew. And
I would just stand there, like, with my hands still pinched as if I was holding it.
Right.
Staring at the door the guy just ran out. Just like, what the hell?
Like, what just... Like, we were, like, in awe. I'm
flabbergasted has never been more appropriate, I think.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Your flabbergasted got gassed.
It literally feels like a cartoon. Like, that's the shit that happens to, like, Mickey Mouse or, like, Tom and Jerry. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It was odd. I'm so glad that I never saw that guy again, because, like, I don't even, like...
What would you do if you did see him again?
I don't know, man.
Give me those $20 back.
Bruh. Oh, my God.
Just like, hey, man, can you, like, break a 20 for me? And as soon as he takes those rolls, I go, yeah, give me that!
Give me that! And book it.
Shout out to the manager, though. Apparently, he believed in me the whole time.
That's good. I was going to say, it sounds like you got a great manager there.
Yeah, I'm sure he was even telling the old guy, he was like, I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose or whatever, it was probably just a simple mistake. We'll get this all sorted out. And then the freaking old guy just like, give me that. Give me that.
That is crazy.
That's wild.
Thinking back, there's no way that it was exactly $20 that he was owed either.
No way.
Yeah, right?
He really did just like freaking swipe that crap. Like, even if I did accidentally short him something, there's no way it was $20.
No way in hell.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If that happened in Jersey, there would have been a fist fight on the spot.
Yeah, for real.
There's no way that guy was walking out of there that easily.
Bro. Oh my! And what's worse is that there's no cameras at the location that I work.
Oh no!
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
Good to know. Good to know. We're
Taking notes.
Taking notes. Yes. Oh my God! And that does suck. that does suck for many other reasons, right? Because we get a lot of, well, we don't get a lot of walkouts, but walkouts can happen, right?
Oh,
And,
the dine and dash.
Yeah. Sorry.
What is the protocol for that
dumb
sort of thing
walkouts.
when that happens? I've always been
well,
curious.
It's happened to me to tables that I've had a few times. I think I've had probably like 4 walkouts total, like in all the.
In 7 years, that's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad, to be honest. It could be worse,
I
but
assume it's not a
but-
super common thing, right?
No, it's definitely not. But it happens every now and then. You'll hear a server like, "Man, I just had to walk out," and it's like, "Damn,"
Right.
Because it makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a bunch of ways, because like, it looks bad because you're not like watching your table and making sure that they're paying out, but at the same time, like, you're busy. You have other tables
You're
to take
human.
care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I go to the back and I'm getting something for a different table and they're still paying out, I can't stop them if they leave before I get out.
Right.
I've had many times where I see the bill and I see, oh shoot, because we have like the kiosk, the kiosks on the table.
Yeah.
Where they're able to pay off on that. And if I see that it still says pay, like it's not grayed out, then I like run to the monitor to see, or like I'll run out to see like, hey, did they pay? Did they pay? Is there cash on the table? Like, and then usually there is, but like, you never know, man. It's scary stuff. Because, I want to make sure that everything goes well. Also, additionally, if they're not paying, that means I'm not getting a tip, but that's besides the point.
Right.
Right. So the protocol is really just like, if it is a walkout, you tell a manager and they'll just comp the whole bill if so.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, because I know that in the retail I've always worked. So I've worked a lot of different sides of retail. I've worked at I did a call center for Pizza Hut for a while, and then I worked at McDonald's for a while, and then other than that, it's been mostly like retail stores. Like I worked at a Walmart, I worked at a TJ Maxx, I work at a convenience store right now. And if somebody's gonna steal something, you're legally everywhere I have worked, and I've worked in I've worked in 3 different states, but like for the most part, I believe the protocol 90% of the time is if somebody's walking out and stealing something, you're just supposed to let them go.
That's
like you're
crazy.
not supposed to interact or try to stop them, because that can start a conflict,
I've heard that.
Right. Have either of you seen gas station encounters
Yes.
on YouTube?
No.
Yes, I have.
So it's literally just this YouTube channel. The owner of the gas station has a YouTube channel, and whenever there's a walkout, for because like gas station store, right?
Yeah.
Whenever there's a walkout, he will literally run up to them with his camera in hand, like all the way up in their face, and he'll be like, "F you think you're doing?"
Yeah.
And like
So
he'll
funny.
confront them like so hard, and he'll like roast them, and then he'll post that crap on YouTube, and nobody wants to like go in the comments and like try to get them to take their picture down, because if they do, then they're
Then they're
basically
revealing
stealing.
they're
Yeah.
confirming
Yeah.
they're confirming that they stole it, and that they did something illegal. They're supposed to be barred for that, right?
Right.
So nobody nobody even says anything, and
It really
those
is
are
kind of
great videos.
foolproof, because after a while he
Yeah.
just builds up a reputation for doing this. People are like, oh, don't mess with that guy. We're
Yeah,
gonna
don't
get put
steal
on
from
YouTube.
there, yeah.
Gonna get roasted
Yeah.
and put on the internet if we fuck with that guy.
He gets told all the time that like he's gonna get beaten up one day by doing it, and he says he always says that he feels much safer doing it just because he's holding a camera in their face.
Right.
He says
Yeah.
that people are much more scared to be confrontational or like fight back if there's a camera. Like there's
Because you have
proof,
proof.
right? Exactly. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's literally
Yeah.
like hard accountability.
Yeah. That's tough though. So have you ever had like a walkout and you just get like reamed for it? Like you.
Nothing ever happens. We had so at TJ Maxx you can't really walk out because like everything has an alarm on it. And that thing, well, actually there is a really easy way to take off the alarm. I'm not gonna say how because I
Yeah,
fear
maybe
that
not.
might put me in some
No.
trouble.
Tell me.
Maybe not do
us.
that.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta take notes.
Yeah, right. There is a very easy way to take off the alarms, and there is a very easy way to avoid the scanner thing that they have at the door going off. That is
Yeah.
all I'm going to say.
Huh.
I know how. I have never practiced it. I think stealing from places is so very wrong.
It's very dumb.
But
too.
anyways. But I know how. If I ever wanted to, I could, but I'm not gonna.
I have
Use your
to
powers for
steal.
good.
Yeah, right. Like I have the knowledge, the
Your
forbidden
department store
knowledge.
Batman.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even forbidden knowledge. I literally saw one of the methods on TikTok. So like, you know.
What? Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That tracks.
So you know what? No,
Dolphin's on TikTok searching how to steal from TJ Maxx.
No, it was because I worked at TJ Maxx and I guess my phone listens to me.
Oh, it definitely
But since
does.
it's on TikTok, I will talk about this one because it's on TikTok. You can find it, whatever. This lady, I actually genuinely don't know if this does work or not. She takes like you know those like metal cups, like the Stanley cups.
Of course.
So she takes one of those, she stuffs the shirt or whatever in there, and she's like, because of the metal from the cup and the thing on the alarm on the clothes, it won't set off the alarm at the front.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't remember very well if she like just straight up walked out to be like, "Look, look at me stealing."
Yeah.
But I think she like swung it or something, and it didn't go off. Again, I don't know if that's actually like a thing that is gonna like actually work. It could have just been a fake. The other method that I do know does work, and that's the one I'm not gonna talk about.
Yeah, fair. Can we do a thing where
so
we
yeah.
like start posting like fake methods to steal from things that like will intentionally get people caught?
That's
like, we just,
so
like,
funny.
Like,
One
like
of our listeners just
Get
texts
a
us
ton
on
of-
the
get a
Discord,
ton of
it's
traction.
like, "Yeah, I'm in prison because of you."
they'll just like make a TikTok account.
Guys, if you
specifically for this.
if you take 10 items and run through the scanner as fast as you can, it won't scan you.
What I'm saying is we make like a
and
brand new
then
TikTok
drive
account.
to the and then drive to the police station and report yourself, and then you won't.
Yeah,
get
yeah.
out. Trust.
They never
Guys,
suspect it.
do you know that if you
like
do
self-reporting in
3
TikTok.
front flips and 2 somersaults, then the scanner won't
The
catch
scanner,
you.
you just need to front flip in front of the scanner,
The scanner will be so impressed by your skills.
On the side of the
that
and then
it
security panel,
won't
there's
catch
scream,
a
and
bunch
then
of
scream at the top of your lungs, "I'm not stealing." And then
Input the
nobody will-
Konami code into your phone before you try to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I didn't.
We had
I
Trojan horse
never
these idiots.
saw anybody steal from anywhere that I've worked at. I know it's a thing because my work friend actually literally just texted me saying that like a few days ago, saying that, oh, this guy that is known for stealing stuff from our store stole again. So yeah, you just kind of have to let them walk out and just do.
So wait,
you know,
is that
just
a thing
keep
where if
going
you
on
know
your day.
someone steal, like if like, because okay,
You just report it to your manager. You just say, "Hey,
Yeah.
that I think that guy just stole," or "Hey, that guy just stole." But you're not supposed to be like, you can't yell at them and be like, "Sir."
but a guy who's like a
sir,
repeat offender,
Stop. Yeah.
because
If it's a repeat offender, then you can trespass them, and I believe
Okay.
you can get some kind of a restraining order to not allow them into the building.
Well,
We
'cause-
have like a few notes on our little desk thing. One of them said like recently, one of them said this lady is banned from the other store that's in my town
area, okay,
and she was like, and it said like, if she shows up, please let me know. And it was like a note from my manager, basically saying like, if she shows up, you know, let her know.
damn, that's crazy. And I only asked because there was when I was in high school, there was a guy who was in my graduating class where he was like regularly stealing from the local Quick Check. And that's proof, by the way, that I'm from Jersey because it's the local Quick Check. And it was to the point where the town Facebook department posted a picture from the security camera of Quick Check and is like, "Well, we're asking for help, information on this man spotted stealing from the
No
local Quick Check."
way.
And it was a picture of him, like at just like security camera footage from. I'll DM you guys the image later when I can track it down on my phone because that's like a 8-year-old picture at this point on my camera roll.
Yeah.
But what's funny about that was this was the middle of the day when it was posted to the town Facebook page, and we were all obviously still in high school, and so it like spread like wildfire throughout the school. And in the picture, he's wearing like a hoodie and like jeans, I think. But the hoodie that he was wearing in the picture was the same one he was wearing in school that day. Yeah. And then like he was lucky that he wasn't 18 at the time because I think he could have gotten like more serious charges if he was 18, but he was
Yeah.
still 17 because this was my senior year. But then after that, he started going around calling himself the Quick Check Bandit. So,
Hey,
yeah, that's a real
at
thing
that point,
that
just own it.
that I
That's the title,
experienced.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least he owns it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't spoken to him since high school, and I don't even know if I know anyone who's still in contact with him or anything. But
He's
I don't
probably
know
in
if that's still a thing or whatnot. But that is something that I saw happen basically right at my
That
own
is
front
funny.
door, kind of relating to all this.
I don't
Um,
think I've ever stolen anything.
I did accidentally as a kid
I've
once, but like I was like
stolen
4,
gum.
you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
meant,
walked out holding a
actual,
slinky, and my mom
like
was like, "Where'd you get that
actual,
from?" And I was
yeah.
like, "I don't know."
Yeah. I've done stuff
Yeah.
like that for sure.
I've definitely stolen gum, like, but like knowing I was stealing.
Yeah.
Oh, I had
Oh,
no
wait.
idea.
I remember I stole this scented marker from this music teacher when I was in elementary school. I felt like such a badass. Bro. It was like chocolate licorice or whatever.
hell yeah.
I don't freaking know.
Yo,
It smelled so good. Let me stop.
stealing and doing drugs? Damn.
Oh my god, I was
Damn.
sniffing on that marker,
You
bro.
out here.
Bunch of kindergarten junkies.
I just randomly thought of a retail horror story that happened to me a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. I forgot we were talking about that.
Yeah, right.
It was so I've been working at the store I've been working at for like about 3-4 months. And this happened. This was the very first person that I got that was angry at me.
Oh.
But it was this whole family came in, and of course, you know, they're not watching their kids, so their kids are running around everywhere. And I'm just like, ugh, okay, we're doing this. And so the lady comes up, and she's like kind of giving me issues about coupons and stuff that wouldn't load. And I was like, I'm sorry, it didn't come up. If it doesn't come up, I can't do anything.
Right.
I was like, you've used your things. There's nothing I can do. And she didn't give me any issues. Her husband, though, gives me 2 bottles of Coke to scan. And he was like, and I tell him the total. I'm like, okay, the total is $5.34 because our Cokes are on a sale. That is, you get 2 for $5, and then plus tax is $5.34. And I only know this because I regularly buy 2 bottles of Coke at work.
So you're intimately aware of the price of Coca-Cola.
I'm intimately aware.
I know exactly how much this costs.
It's $5 plus tax. It comes out to $5.34.
I don't
so
have
it
a
came out to
problem. Here's what it
$5.34.
costs to the cent.
Exactly. And so I was like, it's the total's $5.34, and he was like, and they paid and everything. I give them their change, and then they start to leave, and I see them turn back and go back and get back in line, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they want to get something else, or they need to check something, whatever. I check out the other person that was there, and then they come up, and they're like, the husband immediately looks at me and goes, "You got the Coke wrong." And I was like, what? He was like, the sign on the thing over there says it's 2 for $2.50. And I was like, no. I go, our Cokes are 2 for $5. And he was like, no, the sign on the cooler says 2 for $2.50. So if you can't give it to me like that, then it's false advertising. And I'm like, okay. I'm like,
I hate that.
I'm like, can you show me where it says that? And he was like, yeah, I'll go show you. And so he shows me, and it does. He is right. It says 2 for $2.50. The issue is that thing, that like little sticker, was for regular Coke, and he got like a vanilla Coke or something like that. So I told him this. I was like, hey, that was for you see how it says Coke and not vanilla Coke?
Yeah.
That's for regular Coke. And he was like, well, I want the deal though, because you know that the Cokes were there, and they were, but the thing is, we don't put up Coke bottles. We have somebody that comes in from the Coke company, and they stock the Coke stuff.
Right.
It's like the same. Pepsi does it too. Frito-Lay does it too.
Makes sense.
Like they stock it.
They send their own
what
people.
happened was, they just needed to put the stuff up, so they just put it up like wherever it kind of could fit. And so the guy was like, well, if you don't, it says 2 for $2.50, so I want a refund, and I want you to do the 2 for $2.50. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let me do it. And so then I accidentally rang it up wrong, and then it came out to $5.34 again. I was like, total's gonna be $5.34, and he was like, no, but it says 2 for $2.50. And so I was like, okay. So when what ended up happening was I accidentally rang up 1 for $2.50, like both of them, like as if each one was $2.50, which came out to $5, which came out to $5.34. And so I was like, I turned the thing to show him, and he was like, it's supposed to be 2 for $2.50. Like, he's talking to me like I'm stupid. And I was like, oh, wait, I am stupid. So I void it, and I'm like, sorry, bro, I'm bad at math. So then I start ringing it up again, and it's 1 for 120, 1 for 125 is what it's supposed to be. And at that point, I had called up my manager because there was, like, a line of, like, 6 or 7 people because this whole family was holding up over 2 bottles of Coke and, like, trying to save,
really
like,
wanted the extra
50
$2,
cents. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this guy's, like, full yelling at me, and at this point, I'm just like, I'm gonna ignore you and just talk to your wife because you're being a dick. And so I'm talking to the wife, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm bad at math. Like, you get it. Like, you know, she was laughing, and the guy was still yelling. It's supposed to be 2 for $2.50. If I heard this guy say 2 for $2.50 one more time, I was going to smack the hell out of him and lose my job. I was ready.
Valid crash out.
And so I finally ring it up, 2 for $2.50. And I was like, I spin it around. Like, I spin because our little computer, it can, like, spin. I spin the computer around, and I look at him, and I go, does this look right to you, sir? 2 for $2.50, right? And he was like, yeah. And I spin it back around. I'm like, okay, your total's gonna be, and it was like $3 and something cents. I can't remember the exact number. But I was like, you know, it's one of those situations where, like, if somebody's mad at you, at least, like, if somebody's mad at me, unless you directly disrespect me, I'm gonna be the nicest human being I can
Of course.
possibly
I do
be.
the same exact thing.
But
Yeah,
also be
it's
a
great.
little passive aggressive about it because they hate that. They want the conflict, you know?
Right.
Oh, yeah,
And so I was like, you know, the guy takes his Coke, he, like, yanks it out of my hand, and I'm like, I hope you have a fantastic day,
of
sir.
all time.
I hope you have the greatest day in the world. You enjoy those $2 that you saved today.
You gave me a flashback. Actually, I have a horror story as well. Actually, so
Also bringing up memory
Like,
recall. I love it.
somebody. Okay, so it's very similar to that. So I work at an Olive Garden. Reveal. There you go.
Whoa.
And what is it? This guy, just like how that guy in your story was, like, trying his absolute hardest in the conflict just to save a couple bucks.
People and their coupons, dude. Y'all need to chill out.
Yeah, for real.
I
It's
understand
not
the
that
want to
serious.
save money, but, like, $2?
It's really not that serious.
$2. What are you gonna go to the dollar store and get? You know what? You can go to the dollar store and go get your Coke for $1.
Exactly. Get dinked. Anyway, so
Say that to
So
the next person
this-
who's unruly. It'll go great.
damn freaking right.
Get dicked.
So this actually didn't even happen that long ago. This only happened to me like 4 months ago, something like that. And so at this point, I'm like an Olive Garden professional. You know, I've been working here for a
Right.
long ass time.
Third
I know
prestige
what the
Olive Garden.
Of course. I have passion for the garden. So at this point, I know what the frick I'm talking about. All right, I know what the frick I'm talking about. So this guy and his wife comes in, right? You know, I'm serving them like normal, you know, being nice, all that crap, the norm. And it's very common for tables at Olive Garden. If you've never been to Olive Garden before, we do unlimited breadsticks, unlimited salad, and unlimited soup with your entrees, right? So if you get an entree, then with it, you get unlimited soup or salad of your choice, right? And the breadsticks are just complimentary, right? One of the most common issues, though, is that there will be people trying to abuse the system, trying to get one entree, and then they will split the unlimited salad or soup. But it doesn't work that way. There's a little text at the bottom of each menu that says if you're only getting one entree between 2 guests and you want to share the salad would not be unlimited. Same for the soup, right?
Yeah, but nobody reads that.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so this guy is trying to pull that, right? He says, "Oh, wait, this is great. I could just eat the salad that my wife gets, and I'll just get a soup. It's great. I'll just only get the unlimited soup, the zuppa toscana, and I'll just have the salad that comes with her meal. This is great. So she gets like a seafood Alfredo, the wife, and he originally says he wants soup and salad, which is an entree, right? Soup and salad is like the unlimited soup and salad. That's all you want, right?
Yeah.
You just want soup and salad. So I go put that in, and I bring out the soup and salad. And he of course, when I'm coming back, he's on the Zios, like checking the bill. He's like, so why did you charge me for soup and salad? I thought it came with the meal. And in my head, I'm going, uh-oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
It's like that meme, here we go again.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. I've been through this many a times, right? I'll just explain it, right? Oh, yeah. Well, you told me you wanted soup and salad. And so I put that in as soup and salad. He was like, well, I'm so sure that, you don't even need to consider that I'm here, right? Like, don't think of me as here. It's just my wife here, all right? I'm just here for her. Act like I'm not here, all right? The soup and salad, like, that just comes with her meal. I'm just sharing with her. I said, oh, well, no, sir. If you're not both getting an entree, it doesn't come with it like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like, it's in the rules. I even show him in the menu. He's like, yeah, well, I don't care that it's on the menu. All right, you can do this for me. And I said, no, I can't, sir. I'm not going to lose my job just to fulfill your simple desire, right? So at this point, like, the entire time I'm being, like, very nice to him, trying to explain everything. And then eventually he says something like, I know this better than you, all right? And
I hate when they do that.
And I dropped the act at this point. Like, I very
The
few
mask
times.
was gone.
Listen,
Very
you
few
fucking
times.
normie.
Very few times do I, like, lose my cool and, like, like, I'm very good at, like, putting up an act, right? Like, I'm good at that, right?
You've good patience. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point when he said that, I was like, look, sir, I've worked here for a long time. I know what I'm talking about. I told him straight to his face. I said, I know what I'm talking about. Look, it says it right here. He says, explain to me, all right? And I'm like, I'm explaining it. Look, if you want the soup, right? I did not realize that you did not want the salad. So what I could do is I could ask a manager to take off the soup and salad entree, which is like $11.99, and I can charge you instead for just the soup, the zuppa toscana, because he's eating the soup, but he's not eating the salad, apparently. So I said, what I can do here is I can get a manager to take off the soup and salad, and I could just charge for the zuppa toscana, which is like $8.99, right? Just the soup, right? So I can save you a couple bucks, and we can just get this going. He said, well, I thought the soup came with the entree. I said, no. The seafood Alfredo comes with the soup or salad. You get one or the other, right? So you don't get both the soup and the salad. So no matter what, you have to be charged for either the soup or the salad because you got the soup and you already started eating it, all right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually he's like, oh, shoot. All right, fine. Well, thank you for explaining that to me. I really appreciate it. And I was glad that he actually, like, he didn't freak out. He didn't get a manager. I just explained it well enough, I guess.
Right.
And I told a manager after this, I don't usually need a manager, honestly. Like, I can usually explain my way through most situations. Yeah. And it'll be fine. Good. But that guy, like, he really got on my nerves. And the whole entire time, the wife is, like, in her freaking face. Like, you know, like when people, like, put their arms on the table and, like, they're just, like, they have their head down. Yeah. That's basically what the wife was doing the whole time. She was so embarrassed. Yeah. And the entire time, like, I'm talking to my coworkers, I'm like, bro, this guy about to get divorced. Like, like, this wife is so embarrassed. Swear.
Oh, God.
I hate when that happens. Because a lot of people I know are mean to waiters. I don't know why. Like, I pride myself on I will never be mean to somebody who controls my food. Because there's a solid 10 to 15 minutes where my food is in the kitchen in the control of literally anyone before it's brought out to me. So I'm never going to be rude to a waiter, ever. But I have a lot of my family is... And it was literally that. It was like every time they're rude to a waiter, I just look at them and I'm like, that's not me. Please. I'm okay. I'm nice.
Oh, yeah. No, historically, I am the most patient human being in my entire family. And so when I'm just like in public witnessing like my family either just like not having a lot of patience or just losing it a lot quicker, I'm just sitting there like...
I'll have to try to, like, calm my family down. I'm the same way. I'll be like, look, it's not that big of a deal. Like, just calm down, You're
better than I am. I don't even try. I'm just like, I can just sit here and wait this out.
Give up.
It'll pass. Yeah. Like, I'm a broken man at this point. I'm just jaded. I'll just let it happen and finish at this point.
That's fair.
Which is great. I don't know if it's a good thing that I'm just kind of, like, emotionally numb to these things, which I guess kind of works for IT. But
with that guy...
with that guy, what's it called? I finally finished them off, and they actually gave me more than I expected. $5.
That's good.
That's the $5 he saved from getting.
Yeah. You didn't realize you were actually bargaining for your tip.
So I went back and I was like, look, he spent all that time trying to save. I don't know. Like he basically is gonna get a divorce because of $3, but whatever. But whatever, you know, he could do him. It's whatever. And you know what's funny is that guy's not even like my least favorite customer. I've had plenty more.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to give a story though, but I do have another one ready.
Well, you reminded me of something where it was.
All right, go ahead.
When I was at, so this isn't something. I was on the other end of the stick once for this. So this is a little bit of like consumer perspective. Ooh.
We love
mildly literal when I say this too. Because I did 1 year of college, right, and a little bit of the lore of bot. I did a full year of college and then like a semester at a community college before I started working in IT full time. But my 1 year of college was at Marist, and across the street was an Applebee's that we used to go to all the time. We all call it like Apple Baps, like all Baps. Yeah, it's been several years, but I went in there one time, and like. By the way, for the record, I want to state this plain and clear at the top of the story. Because of what you said about like the laws and whatnot, I had friends in high school who worked as waiters and waitresses, and like hearing how like I always make sure to like treat them nice. I always tip. I always like everything good that I can do for them. I make sure it happens, you know, because I know the shit. Like again, like from what we talked about already, I always make sure to tip. And the waiter who was there was me, my girlfriend at the time, and one of my friends. And the waiter came in and was like, hey, just wanted to bring this up to you. That one waitress over there, like, claimed that you guys come here all the time and you guys never leave a tip. That's not you guys, right? And I was like, huh? I was like...
He just, like, came up to you and said that?
He said that to me. And
that's crazy.
Apparently, I was thinking back, because I was there, like, a week earlier, and I noticed that, like, this one waitress who we had... was just being very, like, she would not, like, talk to us. She was just very blunt. Everything came, like, super late, like, compared, because there was another table, like, next to us who was one of my friends who was in band, who I was in band with, and his stuff all came, like he got, say, like, after us, but he got all his stuff, like, way before we did. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, did they not like us or something? And so, apparently, that lady just thought I was someone else? And like look, I never tips, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've never been so more like upset and like personally offended. Like someone comes like,
yeah,
hey, is that like you person who never does that? I'm like, no,
that's really unprofessional too.
I always do. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was legit like mad. I was like,
I'd be
what
mad.
the fuck? I was like, you just came up here and insulted my character, and I just came here to fucking get food, bro. Because you got a 2 for 20 thing.
Were you with people? People?
It was me, my girlfriend, and a friend at the time.
That's so terrible, bro. You're with your girlfriend and everything, and then the server comes over and like tries to roast you, basically.
I was like, what the fuck? No. And so this lady like was walking around with like this big boo-boo stink face, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what did I do? It was literally like the 50 Cent, like, what do you say fuck me for? Like, I was so... legit, like, even to this day, it still bothers me. Like, somewhere primal inside of me is like, I gotta go fucking like roast them. Like, what the fuck? Like, one,
I gotta tip you more.
I was like, bruh, that guy was great too. That guy was like lovely. Yeah. He was telling me about how he had like a German Shepherd that he was like rescuing, and it was a nice dude. I was just so like, I never went back to the Applebee's after that because I was like, I'm just gonna be pissed off every time I walk here now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be pissed.
I was like, what the? I was like, I've never had that before where someone's like, hey, so you like come here all the time and you never tip, right? It's like, what? The fuck? No.
That's just like,
you're like, no, I pride myself on
like
that.
to my face, like, yeah, like, bruh. My dad was a chef at a diet. Like, what the fuck? No.
I would never say something like that to a guest ever. I mean,
I was so taken
aback. The closest I ever got was these teenagers that came in. It was like a table of five people, and they are ordering way too much I ask ahead of time, hey, are we splitting the checks? Because usually teenagers are all individual checks. That's just how it goes.
Right.
And they were, right? But then I overhear while I'm taking their orders that they're like, I don't have any money. But they're not saying that they're going to pay for themselves. They just say, I have no money. But then they go ahead and order like the most expensive entrees with like add-ons and everything.
Oh, boy.
It's like, are you a dumbass? Like, why are you ordering all these expensive entrees? Like, as a server, like I want people to order expensive stuff. So that way, you know, my 20% tip is higher. Right. But this table, I was like, I literally told them after they ordered, I said, are you sure? Like, that's pretty expensive. I told them to their face because like clearly they knew that they were freaking broke.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a level of
like,
self-awareness to a degree.
Yeah, like, and I knew this was going to end up badly, but whatever, right? They ordered it. They ordered some of the most expensive entrees, all of them. Two of the people, they were good, right? They were able to pay. Clearly, they got jobs. Clearly, they are, you know, they know what they're doing. The other three, however, no money. And they're like expecting their friends to pay for them when, again, I'll repeat, they get like the most expensive crap. And I'm like, are you just like trying to like abuse your friends? Like,
It's like, I have no money, so I'd like the lobster and steak.
like, it's stupid. It's so
Yes.
dumb. And at the end, I'm like, this is the closest I've gotten to like doing what that server did. I was like, but I was nice to that table. That table actually loved me, by the way. Like, I was, what can I say? I'm pretty good at guest satisfaction. But that table did love me, which is important.
Right.
In this context, because at the end, I like lectured them a little bit. I was like, hey, y'all, you know, if you go to a restaurant, like, first of all, like, think about how much money you have, like, when you're coming in.
Right.
Because, like, you know, you don't want to have to rely on your friends or on anybody else to pay for your own food. Like, consider how much it is of the entree you're getting. But not only that, because they felt really bad, right? Like, when they did the tip screen, they're like, I'm so sorry, I can't tip anything out. And I literally told them flat out, I said, oh, I know, it's okay. I said, I know, it's fine, whatever. I just wanted to get them out, right? Like, they had to finish up. You know, I got other tables to make up for it. Like, if I get 0 off the table, whatever, I wasted, you know, it's basically a wasted hour for me or whatever.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah,
It's not going to completely ruin the entire day for you for one thing.
No, because I had other
That's
tables.
good.
Like, it's fine.
It evens out.
But I was like, it's fine. But then after they said that, because they all said the same thing, I said, yeah, like, consider, like, the possibility of having a server that you want to treat well. Because they clearly wanted to tip me, right? They just had no freaking money.
Right.
And at the same time, they're ordering the most expensive entrees. Like, I said, make sure that you bring enough money to take care of not only yourself, but a server that you might particularly want to treat well, right? And, you know, like, they're young, right? Like, I don't hate, like, tables like that, honestly. Like, they're young. They don't know any better.
Right.
But, you know, they got to be told at some point. Clearly they weren't told by their parents. So I gave them a little lecture like that, and I felt like I was really professional about it. Like, I wasn't like roasting them. Like, I wasn't going up to the table like, oh, you guys don't tip. But like, but
you morons.
But yeah, like, I did tell that table because I figured, you know, young people, they just got to know stuff like that, and they're like, yeah, thank you, and they thanked me and all that, and then they left and they said, hey, we'll try to get you next time, and we'll treat you well next time. And I was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. You're all good.
Then
No
they walked
worries.
out of the restaurant like, who the hell is this old guy telling us what to do?
Yeah, for real. This
No, I'm
freaking
kidding.
this freaking what's it called? This boomer
The hell is this
telling
boomer?
us.
Yeah.
So did they ever come back or no? Out of general
Not yet.
curiosity.
Okay. This wasn't too long ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
I was gonna say this was 5 years ago. I'm sorry.
yeah. I never saw them again.
All right.
No, it really
Like,
wasn't
come back
that
with
long
like a
ago.
full
I
family.
think you did a very good thing for them. Like, overall. Like, not even just like,
Yeah.
it's just a good lesson. It's a good teachable moment, you know?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you know, it happens. I know, obviously I get the idea that, you know, teenagers want to go out and they want to have a nice time with their friends or whatever.
Yeah.
They want
Right.
to eat out. I get it. But it's just something to keep note of, right? Like, if you do have great service, think about how bad you'll feel to make that server work for you for free, right? Like I did effectively, and, you know, they asked for a lot of stuff. Like, I got them a lot of salad refills. I got them a lot of refills in general. I did a lot of stuff for them, and to make no money. Like, picture that for a second. I made no money
Right.
for the work that
Yeah.
I just did, right? Like, 0. so yeah, I did free labor for them, and you know, like I'm not sitting here to complain, because
Right.
like honestly, like you said, like I make up for it in the other tables. It's really not that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
exactly.
Oh, I forgot to mention though, that same table like sat there. They actually could not, like they literally could not pay their bill. Like they sat there for like an extra hour, like calling people to try, like calling their parents. I assume.
Oh, damn.
Trying to get enough money to. Yeah, I forgot about this part of the story. So I told my manager, and he like walked over. He's like, "Hey, like take your time. Like try to figure out how to get money to pay for your meals." You know, and honestly, we were like debating like, what are we gonna do? Like if they can't get the money, like they do not have money to pay for it.
Right.
Because they were
Work it off.
dumbasses and
Clean
ordered
dishes.
the most expensive stuff. Yeah, like we that's always a joke that people say, but we don't actually know if like we can't actually do that. We can't actually
No.
just put them in the kitchen
Yeah.
and get them to clean dishes. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Like we honestly
be
have no
funny,
idea
though.
what it would do. Yeah.
That's
So,
kind of
um,
crazy.
So, at Olive Garden, do they? Because I know you guys have unlimited breadsticks. That's like
They just
whatever.
spawn in the
That's
back and
that's
you just, like, hand them
automatic.
out.
They
Yeah.
spawn, yeah.
Yeah.
They spawn in.
So does it get to a point? Will Olive Garden, like if I go to Olive Garden right now and I just keep ordering breadsticks, will they eventually stop me?
Well, it
Like,
depends.
is there
Did
a
you get
point
did
where
you-
they're like-
It depends. Did you get an entree?
No, like you're not getting anything, just the breadsticks.
Then you won't get the bread. You
So
need
you
an
have to get
entree-
an entree to get the bread.
You need an entree to get the bread. Yes. Well, you need to order
okay,
something.
I thought. Okay.
The deal is you need to get an entree. However,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if you get like an appetizer, as long as you get something, I'll bring it
What
out.
if I get a drink?
Maybe an alcoholic beverage.
Okay.
But like if you just get like a Coke, I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah.
Like if I know that you're only getting a Coke, I'm probably not gonna bring it out because that's against the
Mm-hmm.
rules. Technically, you're supposed to get an entree, but I will be a little lenient, right? Like if you get an appetizer
Yeah.
as an entree, whatever, I'll just bring it out. I don't care that much.
Gotcha.
But
okay, so you only really get the breadsticks if you.
You're
Get-
supposed to only get the breadsticks if you get an entree. The salad and soup is much more specific. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, bread, I don't care too much about. Like, I'll bring it out while they're waiting, while they're looking at the entrees. Like, even if they haven't ordered it yet. But salad and soup, I'm a lot more strict about. Like,
Yeah.
because that they could easily fill up on.
Right.
And, like, a lot of times, like, a lot of servers, like, they'll bring out the salad/soup beforehand, or tables will try to order it before they order entrees. And again, tables get really mad about this sometimes because, oh, well, last time I was here, the server gave me
Yeah.
Right.
breadsticks and salad before I ordered. And I was like, well, what's their name? Because they're doing it wrong.
You're getting fired.
They're getting fired. And like, I know that I can get it, but it's against protocol. And
Yeah.
I'm not like a super strict guy by any means, but like I know that they could fill up on it. They're not going to be hungry enough to eat the entrees, and then I'm going to have to charge for the salad or soup, right? Because they didn't get entrees, and then they're going to be mad about that. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
the salad and soup was free. No, it's complimentary. It's
No,
complimentary.
it says in
if
really
you get
tiny
an
letters at the
entree.
bottom of the menu. Yeah.
Well, no. Honestly, that is big tech. Like if it's like, oh, you get a salad or soup with your entree.
Yeah.
Like that's standard, right?
Gotcha.
But a
Interesting.
lot of people will try to just get free stuff, you know. But yeah, to answer your question though, you could technically just keep eating bread, but like I'm not allowed to bring out more bread unless you finish the bread that you just got.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah.
And it's specifically each table gets, like if it's a 3-top, you get 4 breadsticks the first time, then you get 3 for every single refill. So like 1 breadstick per
Oh,
person.
okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so if you're a 1-top, you only got 1 person on you, then
There's
it's
only
just
going to be one bread.
1 bread per
1v1.
refill, and like you're not gonna want to like freaking go
Yeah.
1 breadstick at a time for hours. Like
Yeah,
there is
That's
definitely
psychopath
reasoning behind
activity.
it.
Well, I mostly ask because I've seen on TikTok these people that go to Texas Roadhouse, and the bread at Texas Roadhouse is really, really, really good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I've seen
And
these too.
they also have that policy of like unlimited bread, and people will just like bring in a really big bag and start stuffing the bag full of the
Yeah,
bread,
no,
and
if they
they'll
get
keep
caught
bringing
doing
out
that-
bread.
If
Like they
get caught
don't
doing that,
stop.
they'll get kicked out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, honestly, I'll be honest. If a table like tells me, "Hey, we're gonna give you $100 tip if you just do this for us," I'll be like, "Damn right, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, it's
Yo, bet.
$100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, like I don't want to most of the time, people that do stuff like that are scammers, right? And they're not going to treat you well, and they're just going to waste your time,
Right.
make you work.
You got $100.
Oh, well, yeah. But what I'm saying is that most of the time, people are not like that. Like, people will
Okay,
scam
gotcha.
you.
That's
people
the
will
exception.
scam you. You know, they'll tip you nothing and make you do all that work for free. So it's not worth doing all that work. You're breaking the rules, right? Potentially getting in trouble at your job for doing the wrong thing just for nothing, right? And it's a big time waster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
All
do that
risk,
for-
no reward.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
seasonally we get the unlimited pasta bowls as well, and like that's on TikTok as well. Like people just like filling up their containers with like
Yeah, they'll fill up like
fettuccine
Tupperware of
Alfredo or
it.
whatever. Yeah, and guess
Yeah.
what? Guess what? We literally had somebody at our location doing that. I wasn't the one
Really?
serving. I wasn't the one serving them, but like I was trying so hard to get the server to tell a manager. I was like, tell a
Yeah.
manager, please, because they got to leave. And thank God, I also talked to the managers like, hey, they can't be doing this. This is so wrong. And like you could just tell that they were not like the way they were acting. There was no way that they were gonna treat the server well either.
Right.
So, and yeah, the server was like really upset. Like the moment that they walked up, they had already finished their pasta bowl. It was like scraped clean. Like they were
God
gone
damn.
for like they were gone for like a minute getting their drink refills, and the whole pasta bowl was finished. They were like, no, bro.
Yeah, see, like then it's like okay, that's a
It
little.
was so.
Was it like
it was
fucking
so
Joey
obvious.
Nobody
Chestnut
eats
in there?
that fast.
There's
Yeah,
no
for real.
way you had
No.
a champion level
It
eater.
was. It was impossible.
Like unless you're Matt Stoney, like you're not eating that.
Well, that's why I meant,
No,
you know who
it's-
Joey Chestnut is, right? The hot
Yeah,
dog
of
guy?
course. Yeah. Of
The
course.
greatest athlete of our generation. Yeah.
True, but no, like it's just silly, right? And they had like big backpacks next to them, like it was so obvious.
Yeah.
But what
Not
is
even
it?
hiding it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that, stuff like that happens. But honestly, like, and a lot of people will like complain about like because like Olive Garden specifically, like yeah, it might not be like it's not fine dining by any means, like it's just a regular restaurant.
Right.
But I do like working there because like it's very quick, right? Like everybody knows Olive Garden. I call Olive Garden like the McDonald's of restaurants. It's like everybody knows what it is. Like they see the Olive Garden
Yeah.
sign and they're like, oh, I know what is there, right? I
Yeah.
can just go there, And it's true.
It's
because,
like if fast food had fine dining, it would be Olive Garden.
yeah, kind of.
Like Olive Garden, Chili's would be
Yeah,
up
like
there
all that.
too. Like those are like fine dining, but they're also quick as hell.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I really do like working there. I've worked there for so long, and I've done a lot with that job. I paid through college. I bought a
Yeah.
house. I did all this bull
Success.
crap. And it was just from working weekends too. So like it works mainly because it's busy, like
Yeah.
there's so many people. So even though I do get stiffed, like I don't make 20% off every table, far from it. Like I get 0 from many, many tables, but because I can make up for it just with like more tables, like basically I'm saying I could work my ass off to like make up for like, the rough people. So there are a lot of rough people, right? The clientele's not perfect, but
Right.
but
But it's good
But
that
I
you
do
can
like
make
it.
it up. Like your hard work doesn't go unrewarded, which is good.
yeah, for sure. So it is a good job. I think serving is a good job in general as long as you put the work forward. It's one of those rare jobs where I feel like the more work you put in, the more you're actively going to get paid.
Right.
Like, with an hourly job, you could just like freaking sit in the bathroom and like
Right.
still just like
Yeah,
be
and
on
you're
the
still
clock.
getting paid.
Like
Yeah, be on
my-
the clock, like you're getting paid. But if I sit in the bathroom, my table's going to be upset because I'm not getting their refills.
Right.
Like they're going to tip me less. Or maybe I won't even get sat at all because the host knows that I'm in the bathroom.
You'll also probably
So
see
they're not
less
gonna sit
tables
me.
in a day.
Yeah, like I'm seeing less tables, I'm serving less, I'm getting less money. But
Right.
and I don't want to take breaks because of that. I want to keep on working because that
You're
affects-
incentivized to keep working.
Exactly, and that's why I even made a TikTok about this on my Waiter Manor channel. But they could go check it right now in the description.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
He is good at this.
but what is it? It's one of the few things, like I'm a rare person. Like I'm not one that complains about not getting paid hourly because I do like being motivated to just work. Like it does make me actually care about what I'm doing. I never want to be lazy.
Right.
And a lot of people hate that, right? Like they want to have that extra security. Like, oh, I don't want to have to like work my ass off like
Oh, yeah.
24/7, right? And that's completely understandable. But in my perspective, when I go in, I want to be working the whole time, and then, you know, be motivated that I could always do better, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good mixture of the two. Like at my job, we get truck every other Friday. So every other Friday, it gets more busy because, you know, we got to put stuff out and do all this stuff.
Right.
But then towards like the end of the week for the next week when we don't have a truck, it starts to get a lot more like I'm just working a 5-hour shift and I'm literally just standing at the register. But I normally hate that. But honestly, at this point, I have read so many books.
Yeah.
Like, because I just sit there and there's me and my coworkers know where all the blind spots are.
Of course.
I'm not going to say where it is, just in
course.
case. But there is a blind spot up front. And so I'll stand there and just have my phone and read.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
And I only do it if I have nothing to do, obviously. Like, if there's something for me to do. I obviously know, like, they give me, like, normally, they'll be, like, if I work a 4 to 9, they'll tell me, like, okay, you need to do, like, date code check, which is checking for anything that's expired. So, like, I'll knock that out first. That's the very first thing I do. And then it'll be, like, after that, it'll be, like, vacuum, front store recovery, and reshops. So, you know, vacuum the front store recovery is just making sure everything looks good up front, which is just like 9 tiny aisles. And then reshops are just like putting stuff back that got returned. So I will literally wait till like 6 o'clock to start doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So from like 4:15 till like 6, I have nothing to do. Or I'll wait until my coworker starts taking drawers upstairs to count, which is normally around 6:30. So from that time, I have nothing to do. Vacuuming takes me like 15 minutes probably. And then recovery takes me about 30, and reshops takes me, you know, it depends on how much I have. So I normally do that first. But everything else, like, it doesn't take very long. And then I have nothing to do from like 8 to 9. And then I just read, because also nobody comes in from 8 to 9.
I used to like that too. When I was a lifeguard,
Yeah.
I had a similar situation because, you know, as a lifeguard, you just sit on the freaking stand the whole time.
Yeah, you just sit on the
Yup.
stand, yeah.
Yeah.
Just sit there and slow roast.
Sometimes there's nobody
Slow
even at the
roast.
pool. Like, I can't tell you how many shifts I had where it's like storming out, so nobody's even at the pool. I'm just sitting there
Yeah.
on my clock. I'd bring my PS Vita and
yeah.
Based.
based, yeah. And I just played on that the whole time, and I was that's one thing I loved about the lifeguard job. Like, I only got that was back in 20.
That was you were still in high school, right?
2017. Wait, no, it was like 2015 through 2017 that I did that job in the summer, and yeah, I would always bring my PS Vita, and I would just play whenever it was storming. The thing I liked about that job is, like, I only got paid like $8 an hour, but, like, you know, when you're not even an adult yet, like, it was pretty nice to actually make some money.
Good money,
Yeah.
yeah. It's good money when
Yeah.
you're not, like, out of high
When
school.
you're not paying any bills. When you're not paying any bills,
You're
it's
not
nice
paying
to
rent or anything.
I remember I was so hyped up because I was like, oh, I make almost $60 off of one shift. I can buy a video game with every shift.
Right.
Like, that's what I thought.
Oh,
of.
dude.
Crazy, yeah.
I know
that's
that.
what I
Not
thought
anymore.
of every single time. Yeah, not anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, what I did like about that is that I was kind of the boss in a way, because, like, my manager wasn't there. Like, I basically, it was a country club, so I was just like, I was the authority, and I was only like 16. Like, I was the person in charge of the whole pool,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool.
That is neat.
It taught me a lot. I remember I got in a lot of trouble though because like, I was so bored. This is like the first year that I did it. I was only like 15, and the manager, like, roasted me because I kept inviting my friends over because I was so freaking bored.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
because, like I said, I was basically in charge of the pool, so I could do whatever the frick I wanted. So I invited my friends over, and they would just talk to me while I was on the stand or whatever.
Right.
And I remember getting pulled over, and the manager was like, "Hey, they're not even a part of the club. You can't have them here. Like, they were not club members. Like,
Right.
I was being a dumbass, right? I should not have been doing that, you know.
Lesson learned.
lesson learned. And she yelled at me, and she said, I'll never forget. She said, "We don't need you. You need us." Right?
Oh shit!
And it sounds ruthless, but she was low key
It's
right.
true. Yeah.
She was low key right.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at her at all. I show no malice to her because
It's a harsh reality to like.
It's
It's a tough
true.
pill to swallow, but it's yeah.
It's true. I did not take that job seriously at all. When I really should have. Like, hell, my mom paid freaking like $500 just for me to take the lifeguard class, and here I am being a dumbass, like risking my job, right, just to like have a little bit of entertainment. And so I never did it again. And yeah, I think that taught me a lot about like responsibility, and like I think back to that quote that manager said all the time. I'm like, yeah, just, focus on the job. You need them, right? They don't need me. You're expendable, right? It's true.
Right.
Like almost every worker is expendable. If you quit, not much is gonna happen. Like I'm really good at my job, I'd even say, but if I quit, like, it's not like the restaurant's gonna.
They're just gonna hire somebody
yeah.
else.
Yeah, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, so I try to think of like how lucky I am to
Yes.
have the.
It's a
the
good
job that I
perspective
have.
to learn early.
Yeah, so like if you're listening, anybody who's listening to the podcast, if you have a job and you feel like, oh man, this sucks ass, think about how lucky you are, to actually make some money, right?
Right.
As simple as it sounds, like make
And to be able to have your own money is always nice.
It could always be worse.
Yeah.
Oh my god, let me tell you.
You could have your boss show up one morning and say, "Hey man, we're not renewing your contract, and because of
True.
the nature of your
People-
job, you
layoffs
need to
are a
leave
thing.
right now."
Layoffs are a thing,
That happened
think
to
about
me.
how you still have your job. Yeah. that's unlucky, right?
Shout out to
there.
me getting tossed out, and then yeah, it was the whole thing
That
with
sucks.
my boss. Yeah, I mean, it ended up leading to me being where I am now, living with my girlfriend, with my dog, and
that's
going into
awesome.
the next stage of my life, which is I'm
boo-hoo.
I'm happy for it now,
I'm
but
kidding.
goddamn, wasn't it stressful? Wait, what?
Absolutely.
I said, "Oh, boo-hoo! Look at you."
Yeah, I know,
Fired,
I
and
know,
Now you're
like, I
living
ended
with
up
your
so
girlfriend with
poorly.
a dog.
And now
I
I'm a
ended out
millionaire,
okay,
like-
but goddamn if I wasn't stressed. Because I remember, like,
Yeah.
it's weird for at least the way it works in New Jersey with IT in public schools. Because I've only ever worked in public schools, where you can't get tenure working in tech. For public schools, it's a non-tenure position, and so it's a contract-based thing. So every single year, your contract gets reviewed and renewed, basically. And so the long story short was the guy who hired me at this district got chased out of town by our superintendent, where she literally went up to him at the end of a board meeting, was like, "Hey, I wanted to fire you at the last board meeting." And he was like, "Okay, I've been here for 23 years. I literally built this entire IT infrastructure for your school district that has six schools, by the way. They built and run and maintained this whole thing, and you're telling me to go fuck myself." So what he did
That's
was he
crazy.
got a job with a district 5 minutes from his house that paid $40,000 more.
Damn.
And so the guy that took his place was someone who never worked in IT before and was just someone who had been in the district that was like the superintendent's chosen. So because I was one of the last guy's hires, and I was very much I went from having a mentor to having a manager, and that was, and he just didn't like. I just got So basically, when my contract was like, "Hey, we're not renewing your contract," and because of working in IT, it's like I had access to like creating Google accounts, managing Google accounts, not only for teachers but for students, like Power School and all these extra things. It's like, we can't have you in the building knowing that you're effectively getting fired. So we need you to leave because it's a security risk. Like, if I know that, like, oh, they're getting rid of me, I can just, in theory, fuck with whatever.
Mess everything up.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just wish that he was kind of like, I call him a coward about it, because he didn't call me. He didn't call me directly. He called the buildings that I worked in, because I was in charge of 2 buildings. He called those buildings to see where I was, and then came there in person. It's like, you could have called me. You could have asked where I was. Like, it's not that hard to get in touch with me. And also, he did it in the morning. And so I didn't get a chance to see, like, any of my, like, coworkers who I had become friends with, or, like, let them know, or, like, say goodbye to any of them. It was like, no, they're all teaching classes, so I just have to, like, get my shit and go at, like, 8:30 in the morning.
That's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. And IT's such a weird beast. It's like, because some days it's like I could be on my feet moving around from the second I get there. It's like putting out fires till like I could stay like an hour late just trying to work and figure out shit, or it could just be a day where nothing's going wrong and I am just answering emails. Because the thing with IT, it's like an insurance policy, right? Where it's not my job to, because I had to explain this to a building principal. He's like, we're not doing anything right now. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm good at my job and I already fixed all the shit that was broken. Like, do you want me to go break something so I can go fix it? Like, that'll give me something to do, but I'll be breaking something. Is that what you want?
For real.
It's like, do you stop paying your health insurance or your homeowner's insurance because no one broke into your home?
No.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm an insurance policy. If nothing is breaking, that means I did a good job.
Damn right.
Like,
Let 'em know.
like the internet's working. There's, oh God. And it's always so random too. And it's always, what's fascinating is there's so many things that are like out of our control that you have to, but by the way, if you ever work with someone in IT, at least try to be nice to them unless they're a dick. Then you can be, grumpy with them, but at least try to be nice to them because goddamn, some of the shit is wild. Because I remember coming into one of my buildings early in the morning, or this was like at my normal time in the morning, and one of the things, we had a project to replace projectors because the projectors that were on the walls in these classrooms were literally older than all of us in this call. And it's like, they should not be using this to teach classes. And so we had new projectors ordered and they got delivered, but for whatever reason, someone in maintenance just never came to install it. So we had to we had to track down where it was because we're like, they say they don't have it. We know it got shipped. Here's the shipment information that we got in. So we found it and they're like, they're not doing their job. It's not our fault. Stop yelling at us, please. Because teachers always, not always, but people will always yell at the IT guy first because we're just the ones there who are like, I'm here to fix it and I can't fix it because I don't know. But so they just get mad at us because it's like, well, you're the problem. It's like, no, I'm trying to help. I promise. But so I came in on a Monday, and what someone had done in the maintenance department was they took down the old projector, but they didn't put anything up. So when this teacher came in on Monday morning, there was just an empty brick wall there. And I was like, huh? And so they called me and they're like, hey, so I have a little bit of a problem. I'm like, oh, what's up? I'm like, well, good news is they took down the old projector. I'm like, okay, that's good. Well, did they in my mind, I'm like, oh, they didn't run a wire or something, or they just didn't connect it to your new computer. So I can just come and do that real quick. It'll be easy, no problem. They're like, yeah, but they didn't put anything else up. I'm like, what? And like, yeah, there's nothing here. And so I'll track this picture down and send it to you. It was literally just a brick wall where a projector and a board should be. So I went and got the cart, that projector cart they would use for assemblies or meetings or anything, and I wheeled it. I had to hold this goddamn cart and wheel it down the stairs and bring it to this classroom. Here's what I got. I'm so sorry. I don't know why they did this. And this was a good teacher, thankfully. She was like, listen, I know this isn't your fault, but we're both standing there like, what the fuck? What do we do about this? And so I called my boss and I was like, hey, so the maintenance team came and they took the projector down here. And he goes, okay, that's good. And I go, but they didn't put a new one up. And he thought I was fucking with him. He goes, oh, that's funny. Like that, thank you for making sure I'm awake on this Monday morning. I go, no, I'm serious. And he's like, what? And by that time, the picture had sent to him, and he goes, oh, shit. I'll be right there. he came over, and he ended up talking to the building principal. And then, thankfully, within the next day, the new projector got put up, and everything was good. But it's like, man, it's just a microcosm of, we can do all the right things, but sometimes just shit out of our control just happens.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's
There's
scary.
so many little things, too. It's insane. It's such a weird, unique beast of sometimes people are just unaware. Oh God. Nope, I've lost that train of thought. That thought just completely left my brain. I was trying to make a comparison, but
that happens.
You can't make this comparison right now. Your brain says no.
Me every day with my severe ADHD.
I'm not even diagnosed
unmedicated, because you're unmedicated, right?
Yep. I've been unmedicated.
At least I'm medicated, brother.
I've been unmedicated for God. What year was it? When I was in 6th grade.
Oh Jesus.
That's crazy.
I don't even know what year it was.
You manage it well.
Wait. Hold on.
He's getting it.
Hold on. 2011.
Damn. That's insane.
2011. Yeah.
almost.
That's crazy.
That's 10 years. 10, 14
I'm pretty bad, honestly. I actually think like nowadays, like at work, people notice that I'm very like sporadic and like very forgetful. I think my ADHD is actually getting worse. There's a chance I may. I don't know. Maybe it's just like getting older. My brain is just working slower. I don't know.
I talked about this in the last episode. So the first 2 episodes of Last Brain Cells Left, I was trying to decide if I should say LBL or Last Brain Cells Left.
Like,
I didn't forget the name. I swear. No. So the last 2 episodes, or the first 2 episodes, sorry, I was not taking my medication because I had ran out and I was waiting for my doctor's appointment to get more. And so it had been a solid few weeks where I didn't take my medications. And I went to work the day I started taking them again. And my coworker just looked at me and goes like, "You seem different. Like your vibe is different today." And I was like, "Really? Like what?" She was like, "You seem more mellow." And I was like, "I don't know what you're." "Oh, I'm taking my meds again." And she was like, "Ah." And so yeah, I guess it is a tangible, noticeable thing when I don't take my medication.
Medication was rough on me, man. I don't think I want to go back, but there's a chance I might need to. It really
it could also
changes
be
you.
because there's like 5 different kinds of meds you can take for ADHD too.
Yeah.
So maybe you just
like the
need to
ones
find the right
I take. Yeah, the ones I take I know are mostly for anxiety and depression, but they can help with ADHD. And since mine isn't like too bad, like it doesn't affect my everyday. It'll affect like every so often. You know?
I think it does. I mean, it definitely affects me, but like by quite a lot, honestly. But at the same time, like I've lived with it for so long that
You're
like
just used to it.
yeah, like when I say severe, like I'm talking like I don't think I've ever seen somebody that's like as forgetful as me, like or like as unconcentrated. Like I'm talking like a table will ask for like Tabasco, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll get that for you right away." And then I go to the back, and then instantly I say, "What did that table want again?" Like instantly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm talking, it's so bad, bruh.
Well, that is a thing with ADHD where it's like you're like, okay, I need to go grab this, and then the second you walk through the doorway of the room that has the thing you need, you're like, what did I need? It's
yeah,
like
it'll
was
just
I grabbing?
completely like escape my mind.
Yeah.
Thankfully, tables are mostly okay because like I just like go up and I'm like, "I'm so sorry, my memory's so bad," and they usually just think it's funny.
It's human.
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of people try to make up like little lies and stuff like that as servers because they want to protect their tip. But honestly, I'm mostly pretty honest, and it usually works out pretty well for me.
Hey, bro, I forgore.
Yeah.
I forgore, to be honest. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, just be apologetic, right? Like,
I think
because
that's
most of
good.
the time, a table can tell when you're making up a lie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So it's
I had to
usually
go
just
walk
better to
my
be honest.
fish. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, for real.
I've noticed it's actually
I don't
kind of pretty much exactly the same for IT, where I would always make sure if I couldn't fix something, or if I could fix it but I needed a part, or like I needed to get something extra and it would take me a little longer, as long as I was honest and explained that to them, like to teachers, 9 out of 10 times they're gonna be like, "Oh, I get it, thank you for telling me." Like, because a lot of times, at least the difference is where with IT stuff it's like, this is on fire, I broke something, oh no, everything's wrong, this is bad, they're in panic mode, and they're like, I'm there to like solve the panic mode and fix it. So as long as I give them an explanation or like a comfort that not everything's on fire and not everything's going to be like broken and deleted, then they can relax and they feel better about it, and it's like, okay, this is I'm not upset, I'm not going to be mad at you because you took the time to just be honest and explain this thing. And that's something that I found that not a lot of people get, how like simple it is. And I mean that like on our side of the equation, where it's like, if you just like take that half second to be honest and human about it, then people are going to be way more nice and receptive with like the little fuck ups, or like the little fumbles. If you forget something, like I've done that before, where I'm like, oh, I fixed a Chromebook that had a broken screen, I had to bring it back to this classroom, and then I go there for something completely unrelated, and they're like, hey, do you have that Chromebook? And I was like, nope, let me go grab that real quick, I forgot it. And they're like, oh, good for you. Like I have a reputation of being like the haha funny guy wherever I work, just because I can't stop making jokes no matter what I do. And so that helps, I think. But every time I've never had someone be like, did you forget it again? Like, no one's come up to me like being mad about it. Or like no one's been like grumpy with me about me just forgetting to pick something up as I walked out of the door for the 3 different things I ran out for this specific time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good like lesson to take away for that, is just like the simple honesty. It really goes a long way for just like being human.
It really, really does. Indeed. I didn't know if I was able to get one more horror story out before we ended the episode or not.
Yeah, well, I think you did good.
Wait.
Oh, no more horror story. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I have one, but it's less of a horror story. It's more like just really funny.
Same.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I used to work at a Pizza Hut call center. That was my very first job, was at a Pizza Hut call center. And basically, when I say Pizza Hut call center, I mean there was a Pizza Hut that was the restaurant and everything, and then you go through a door, and in that room there was like maybe 25 chairs with computers, and we would take orders there. We'd answer phone calls. It's basically like you're not guaranteed, every time you call Pizza Hut, you're not guaranteed to get the store that you're trying to call. So if the store is busy, then you get sent to a call center. And that was me. So I answer the phone, and it was actually really funny because you would know when you're getting a call, because you would, from left to right, you would see a wave of people just starting to go, thank you for calling pizza, thank you for calling pizza, thank you for calling pizza, thank you for calling, and then it hits you. And then it's like, oh my God. So, I say the usual. I was like, thank you for calling Pizza Hut. Will this be for delivery or carry out? And the guy was like, delivery. And I was like, okay. I'm like, can I get a phone number? Can I get an address? Because you need those to be able to order something.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, what can I get started for you today? And he was like, I always love doing this voice because it was exactly what he sounded like. He was like, can I get a cheese pizza? And I was like, sure, yeah. You want it large? Or what size do you want? He was like, large. And I was like, okay.
Sounds like your impression of me.
And so I put large cheese pizza, and then they want you to upsell, so they basically will randomly listen to a phone call, and you have to offer 3 things. You have to either say like, would you like one of our, or would you like stuffed crust pizza for an extra $2, or would you like one of our desserts, would you like a drink? And so I tell him, I was like, do you want anything else on the pizza, any other toppings? He was like, what toppings do you have? And I'm like, oh, brother, we have like 20,000 toppings. And so I start naming all the toppings, and then I finally get to the last one. I'm like, or you could just add extra cheese for an extra $2. And he was like, oh, can I get extra cheese? And the gasp was actually something he did. He went, oh. And I was like, okay, sure.
I wish I could be
My man was so excited for extra cheese.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know where he was calling from. But for a fact, I figured out, I was like, this man is high. Like, off in another universe high.
I didn't even consider that as a possibility.
Yeah, I was like, oh, brother. And then I was like, well, if he wants cheese, I go, do you want stuffed crust for an extra $3?
Oh my God.
No, I kid you not. I was like, do you want extra cheese or stuffed crust for an extra $3? And he was like, oh, yeah.
It's like those dog commercials where you get the bacon
treats.
microphone
too. Like, it was like he was breathing into. He was so excited. He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, sure. And I did stuffed crust.
That's how you get. That's how you get all that upselling. You just sell to.
Yeah, I literally just made him pay an extra $5, and I was like, do you want a drink or a dessert? He was like, what desserts do you have? And I'm like,
oh no.
You should get all of the above.
I know, right? I was like, we have the brownie, and I'm like, it's just a brownie, and then we have the cookie pie, or what was it called? It had a specific name, but it's basically it's a cookie that is the size of a small pizza.
I love the cookie. That's the best dessert.
Yeah.
The cookie's
and so he was like, he asked me, he's like, how big is the cookie? And I'm like, it's about the size of a personal pizza. Like, it's pretty big. I'm like, you can share it between like at least 4 people.
Can you order me one actually?
Yeah, right. He was like, and I go, you can share it between like 4 people. He was like, what about like just me? I was like, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you can eat it yourself if you want. I'm like, yeah.
Like, I don't give a damn.
Pop
You do
off.
you.
Like,
You have free will.
yeah. Like, yeah, I know. I was like,
Am
yeah,
I
you
allowed to eat it all?
No, I literally told him, I was like, yeah. I'm like, you can totally eat it yourself if you want. And he was like,
It's really funny.
he's like, okay. He's
You're like a
okay.
pizza oracle.
Yeah, I know, right? So I told him, I was like, yeah, you can eat it, just one person, it's whatever. And he's like, okay, I'll get that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then he goes, what else do you guys have? I'm like, we have wings, we have like pasta, we have like, I think we had breadsticks or something. And then I was like, we have drinks. And he was like, oh, what drinks do you have? I'm like,
This guy sounds so funny, bro.
I'm
Literally
like,
a golden
we have
retriever.
Pepsi products, and I keep on muting myself because I'm like bursting laughing. And I was like, okay, I'm like, we have Pepsi products, so it's Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, and he goes, oh, can I have Dr. Pepper? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, do you want a small personal bottle or a 2-liter? And he was like, do you think I could drink a 2-liter? I'm like, brother. I'm like, if you want to
I don't
drink
know
a
how much
2-liter.
you drink, bro.
I'm like, if you want to drink a 2-liter, then yes, I can get you a 2-liter. He was like, okay, I'll get a 2-liter. And I was like, okay. I'm like, do you need
Bro,
it? Do you want
Dolphin is
anything else?
upselling out here, bro.
Yeah. I was gonna
I was
say.
like, no, but I didn't feel bad because he was genuinely excited
Yeah.
about all this stuff. I was like, do you want anything else? I'm like, do you want wings? Do you want any of it? And he was like, no, do you think that's enough for me? I was like,
Probably.
sure. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, that's a really cheesy pizza. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna joke around with this guy. I want, this is funny.
You've made a friend, yeah.
Meanwhile, my coworker has answered like 3 calls already, and then I'm still going on with this guy. Because keep in mind, like, I'm talking slow as if he was talking slow. He was talking so slow,
Oh yeah.
and so this call was like a solid 20 minutes.
God
of me
damn,
just trying
20
to
minutes?
upsell this guy, yeah.
Fuck.
And he-
I've
and
met
so I
this guy before in another life.
Yeah. Towards the end, I start joking around with it. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of cheese on that pizza. He goes, yeah, I really like cheese. I'm like, me too, brother, me too. I'm like, but I can't. I can't eat too much because I'm lactose intolerant. So but I'm like, I still I'll eat a cheese pizza. And he's like, do you want some of my pizza? I'm like,
I think I was on that
No,
good
okay,
shit.
that's
that
all
day.
for
Holy
you.
crap.
Well, there won't be
at
enough
that point,
cheese
I kind of
for
tell
you.
him, I'm like, I hate to like burst your bubble, but I'm in Florida. I'm like, this is a call center. And normally you don't
Tell
say
people
that you're at
yeah.
a call center. Yeah, unless like there's actually an issue where they need to be transferred to the actual store. And I was like, listen, man, I'm in, I don't remember. I think he was calling from California, which makes complete sense. And I was
Yeah.
like, listen, man, I can't, like, I would love to, but I'm in Florida, so I can't. He's like, wait, I called a Pizza Hut in Florida? I was like, no. Like, no, you called the right one. I was like, it's just that, the store was busy. And I'm talking to him like a child. I'm like, the store
I was gonna say, this
busy,
is your first experience with
so-
childhood. Like, this,
Yeah,
this
so I
is
was
this is
like,
being a
so,
parent in a nutshell.
Yeah, I was like, the store's busy, so it got sent over to us, and we take your order, and then that store that you called will deliver it to you. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, I thought I ordered it from Florida. That would have been expensive. I'm like, yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
He's
Also,
done
you
that
would
before.
not have gotten your food.
He's for sure done that before on accident.
And so I was like, is that everything for you today? And he was like, yeah. He was like, listen, man, if I could, I would share the pizza with you. I was like,
What a
thanks,
sweet
bro.
guy. What a
That's
sweet
so
guy,
wholesome.
bro.
Thought
Yeah.
that counts.
I like
And
that
so-
guy. That
Yeah.
guy's
And so I
fire.
finally tell him his total. I'm like, this is your total. It's like, I think it came out to like 40 something, maybe 50 bucks. I was like, this is your total. I'm like, just keep in mind you paid an extra $5 for the extra cheese and the stuffed crust. He was like, okay. And so I was like, do you want to pay here or pay when they deliver? And he was like, I want to pay now. And I was like, okay. And so I click, if you ever give your card information to a Pizza Hut, it's like protocol. You have to click a button
Yeah.
so that it makes the call not recorded anymore.
Right.
And then it will after a while it automatically like resets itself. but if you don't click that button, you're risking your job, and
Right.
also just Pizza Hut.
Sensitive information.
Yeah, so I clicked the button. I'm like, okay, you can give me your card information now. I kid you not. And this one I will do at the speed that he did.
Oh no.
He said, 1, 4, 3. I was like, oh my god.
He was tracing them with his finger every time he said it.
And then he goes, wait, I lost my spot.
No, luckily he didn't.
Do not
But he was
peck on him
like,
for
he was
popcorn
doing
reading.
it so slow. I had to click the button another 2 times, and it takes like a solid like minute or 2 before
Oh
it
my
like
God.
stops it. And so he like finished the long number, and I was like, okay. I was like, what's the expiration date? And he was like, 0,
Oh my god.
7. And I was like, oh boy, yeah, right.
Oh, honey.
Slash. I was like, oh, you sweet summer child, you are in another universe. I was like, I don't even know if you're giving me the right numbers.
Probably wasn't.
But yeah, I ended up getting him his order, and I hope he enjoyed that pizza.
I
Oh.
hope so too. He deserves it.
He definitely
I'm
did.
sure he did. He definitely enjoyed.
He enjoyed
all
that pizza in a
food.
way that none of us can, truly.
Yeah,
That
honestly, he
is
was in
like-
another dimension.
That is my go-to like retail story.
Oh, that's
Whenever
amazing.
somebody tells me like, tell me a funny story, I'm like, oh, the high guy who called Pizza Hut.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, what's good is
That was
because
great.
the biggest thing that you hear in IT from people is, I'm sorry if this is a dumb question. I get that a lot. And I always tell people,
Yeah.
no, nothing is a dumb question because I've already heard the dumbest question I've ever heard in my entire life, and nothing can top that.
Except.
And so,
Except.
well, so the one thing that, and I'll always tell the story to people, I'll always tell it to, like, to teachers, because it always makes them feel better about the question that they're asking. But what had happened was that, so I don't know what I said. What had happened was, I don't know what I said like
What
that.
happened was.
What happened?
The first school district I was working for, I would bounce between 3 different buildings where I was needed, right? Because I was technically a part-time guy. I was just there, just to literally just be an extra pair of hands to like go and help while the main like long-term guys were like doing other things.
Yeah.
But so I got an email from a teacher, which is normal that like teachers will email with questions all the time. It's a normal thing. Oh, excuse me, I had a burp there. Wow, fuck. I'm so bad today. What the hell? it's a rough day for me. Anywho, and speaking, so the teacher emailed me and was like, "Hey, my printer's not working. What do I need to do for this?" And with that building, there was a lot of issues with power and just like shorts and things of that nature. It was usually the fix for that printer, because I've been there a few times, was just unplug it, then flip the power switch. Unplug it, flip the power switch, unplug it, then flip the power switch back to on, and then hold the power button to drain all the electricity out of the printer, because it tries to like boot up and turn on with it's not being. So it basically just removes all the electricity that's there by trying to boot up. And then flip the power switch back off, plug it back in, power switch, turn it on, should be good to go, right? And that was the first set of instructions I gave, along with like a list of other things just to check and try if you feel. If that doesn't work, try this and whatnot. I can be there within like, I forget why, but I was like, I come there like within like the next hour or so if it's still not working. So I sent that email to them, and I go about my normal business. And about 5 minutes later, I get a reply email from them with a list of questions based on the steps that I sent them, right? And the number one question on their list of questions was, "What's a power switch?" And
That's crazy.
I
That is
sat there
insane.
staring at that email for 5 minutes because I was looking at this and go, how do I answer this email without getting fired? How?
Yeah, right.
What response can I give this person without getting fired? And what was great was my office was it was like on the back of like the library. It was like an old like AV closet that they converted into like
Could
my
you
room.
not just say the button that turns it on?
Well, no, because it was literally like, like the back of it, like a PS2 or something, where it's literally like a switch that you like
Yeah.
would give you power. It's like it's one of those on the back of a printer, right? So it was
Yeah.
that on top of like the normal power button to turn it on, right?
Right. Right.
And so I was just like, how do I explain them that it's like the thing, like it's like the thing for your lights, but on the back of a printer, like, but in a way that's not insulting
Right.
to like their intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So I was sitting there just flabbergasted that this person who teaches the 5th grade is asking me what a power switch is.
You gotta be like 90 years old.
No, that was the other thing. They were like mid 50s.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know how to. I'm just like, is this real life? Like, am I being pranked right now? So the librarian who I was close friends with, who I mentioned, I don't remember who I was telling. I mentioned there was a good relationship with them. They came in and saw me staring at this email, and were like, "What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Read this." And they read it and just go, "Good luck with that one, buddy," and patted me on the shoulder and walked away. So, to this day, I'm still like, how the fuck? Like, when they go home at night, do they just like, and like all their lights come on? Like, what is?
Yeah,
like I don't.
Rich.
I don't understand
They have
how
attendants that do it
only
for them.
clap on lights in your entire house. Like, how do you, so whenever people are like, I'm sorry if this is a dumb question, I go, no. Nothing can top what's a power switch.
Oh
It
my
was
God,
a legitimate question asked by a legitimate human being.
That reminds me of whenever people at Olive Garden ask me they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I want like so much cheese," and I'm like, "Oh, trust me, you have no idea how much cheese I've grated." like they're like, "Oh my God, like is that the most cheese you've ever grated?" And it's only like half of a block in the cheese grater, and I'm like,
I always
and
wait
I'm like,
until
"Honey."
they look at me.
I'm
I
like-
always wait until the waiter is like, are you sure this is this? You want this amount of cheese? I'm like, yes, keep going.
Yes, keep going. No, I always I say this verbatim like every single time. I say, "Oh no, trust me, that was nothing. Y'all only used about so and so as much
Amount.
cheese that they used, right?" And it's always less than one block. Important to say. And then I say, one time I had to use 3 blocks of cheese into 1 chicken and gnocchi soup. 3 full blocks. I had to do like that's 3 of those full cheese graters. And
How?
Most of the time, I can do a 10 people with 1 block of cheese.
Right.
Like on all their entrees. It's like 1 block of cheese, like 1 cheese grater. So this one guy, and it's true. This is a true story. It was this one teenager that I think he was just trying to be funny. He was trying to get 3 blocks of cheese into his chicken gnocchi soup, but he did eat it all. To be honest, I feel like he must
Good
have
for
had a
him.
great time in the bathroom that night. 100%.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was not a soup at that point. It was like the cheese was like all the way up. It's a huge pile. So yeah, I say that's the first thing that I think of the moment that I say it. Like, oh, basically I'm saying, trust me, there's no such thing as too much cheese, but that was too much cheese.
Oh yeah. There is a line.
But I mean, I did it.
That would
you know,
put
whatever.
me in the hospital.
Yeah, right? That doesn't.
I would
I
not
saw a
regret it.
Reddit post where someone said they like bought the cheese grater from an Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Is that a
Many
thing?
people buy cheese graters.
That's a common
You
thing.
can buy the
People
cheese
just go
grater.
to like buy like, but like they go to like where you would be
Yeah.
working and like, hey, can I buy a cheese grater?
I've sold many a cheese graters actually.
Really?
Well, mainly because, so funny story about that is that like because of the TikTok trend, we like started selling way too many. So now we just always run out.
Wow.
Dead ass. Like I'm telling you, when the trend started, like every 3rd table, like 1 in 3 tables,
God damn.
that day would ask, "Hey, can I buy a cheese grater?" That's how popular that trend was. It was
Holy
crazy.
shit.
Yeah, so many cheese graters got sold.
I did not think it was that widespread.
Most of the time, we did not have a cheese grater to sell because we were most of the time out.
That's insane.
Oh,
So
that's
cheese graters
ridiculous.
kind of became like your McDonald's ice cream machine not working.
It kind of did. You're kind of right. That's
Okay,
kind of
fun
right on the
fact
spot.
about that. As somebody who worked at McDonald's, fun fact about that: they're lying to you.
Oh yeah, I know.
I heard.
I know.
They're lying to you. You know what? We just didn't feel like making you your McFlurry.
Yeah.
1, because either you were a dick, and we just didn't feel like it, or 2, we're just lazy. We don't feel like it. It's not a lot of work. I was about to say it's a lot of work. It's not a lot of work. It's actually really really easy. But like half the time they're lying to you. In the like almost year that I worked at McDonald's, our ice cream machine broke 1 time,
That's
Yeah.
how
and it was
be.
out for like 2 weeks.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. When people ask me for decaf coffee, I say we're out. But we always have.
Oh, because you have to make a brand new pot.
You have to make a
It's
whole
the
ass
same
new
at
pot
McDonald's.
of
You have to
decaf
make a whole
coffee.
new pot.
That crap pisses
Yeah.
me off. Okay, we have like 2 pots of coffee in the restaurant, and they have the gall to say, "Oh, I want decaf coffee." Girl, it takes me like 15 minutes to brew a decaf coffee, and I gotta dump all of the coffee. I gotta dump all of the pre-made coffee, and it takes so long to make decaf. And then the entire time the table's like, "Oh, where's my decaf coffee? Where's my decaf coffee?" We don't have any. I'm tired of making
about
that?
decaf.
My mother orders decaf. I'm gonna let her know. I'm gonna let her
your
know
mom.
the anguish that she's unleashing.
Screw your mom.
God
That
damn
being
it.
said, it's
Holy
about that
shit.
time.
I was not expecting you to pop off about decaf coffee, but
Oh my god, I
That's-
hate it when
that's a-
people ask for decaf
That's
coffee.
a great rant to
I was
end
like,
on,
that was a
if I'm
perfect
honest.
segue to end.
I will
Yeah.
always say we're out of decaf coffee. I don't give a damn.
I respect the shit out of that.
Sometimes
my
I say we're out of
God.
iced coffee syrup too, because like I gotta make it by hand, and that crap is it takes too much time.
Gross. Yeah. Decaf
Ugh.
coffee, guys.
Decaf coffee.
The scourge of all
Anyways.
Olive Gardens.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, thank you, LaterManner, for joining us and for talking about retail horror stories and apparently decaf coffee.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, yeah, it was. It's been fun
Yeah,
having an
we,
extra person here to just bounce chaos off of.
Oh,
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. I had fun.
Go check out LaterManner on everything.
Twitch,
his,
YouTube.
Like he said, his YouTube, his Twitch, his TikTok is all LaterManner. He also has a TikTok where he talks about being a waiter, and that's called WaiterManner, which I might say that is probably the most creative usage of your name
It's good. It's very
I've
good.
ever
love
seen.
that.
The second I
that.
saw it, I was like, "This is amazing." So go check him out there.
It's funny actually. I know we're ending, but like it's funny because like Waiter Manor, like I hated the fact that it works so well because
Yeah.
like at Olive Garden, like it's the biggest thing you do not want to call yourself a waiter. You want to be called a server. It's
Yeah.
like that's like restaurant talk. Like you never want to be called a waiter. You want to be called a server. But I could not help myself from doing Waiter
yeah,
Manor
but
because
server,
rhyme is-
server
it's
manner
just
is
right
not.
there.
It doesn't
not
doesn't
roll
not
off the
roll off the
tongue.
tongue.
No.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Waiter
I
Manor
love
was just
Waiter
too
Manor.
perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
So yeah, go check them out on all that. If you're listening on Spotify, we have a YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, we have Spotify. If you're listening on either, we have a Discord. Come join, and you can recommend topics for us to talk about. We have a giant list of topics that we're going to be hitting in the next few episodes that have been recommended by our listeners.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed, and we've been your last brain cells left. Bye.
Waiter Manors.